So this is part 3 about the Mage rework in Midnight. So here I'm going to talk about hero talents. So to start off, we're going to do Sunfury. So right off the bat, I it's weird. So Sunfury has a lot of modifiers that seem nice, and some of the changes they made seem actually pretty cool. So just to give you an idea, Spellfire spheres now, you don't have the build-up spheres and then the big sphere when you get like Burden of Power anymore, like you do on live. Like on live, you do 6 hot streaks, and each hot streak gives you a mini sphere, and then when you hit 6, you get a burden, and then the burden gives you a big sphere. We don't have that anymore. You just have the big sphere, right? But the big sphere procs like 12% chance, so slightly slower. Um, I think actually you get on the 7th one anyway on live because of burden of power or whatever. But the idea is that it should be mostly consistent to how fast you get spheres, which is kind of cool. I like this RNG element a little bit. It's not super impactful RNG, but it's there. GI now, whenever you generate a big sphere, so obviously we're not having the deterministic incremental progression anymore. Whenever you generate a sphere, you summon the meteorites, 4 of them, on your next IB, so it will stay same as live. The difference is that the meteorites only reduce the cooldown by 0.5 compared to live's 2 seconds. So obviously a massive nerf. However, keep in mind that reducing IB's cooldown by a larger amount is not a big deal because we have so many more sources of IB now, right? Like IBCDR namely. So it's okay. I don't think this is a bad nerf. The cool thing is also that the random fireballs have a chance to summon that meteorite as well, which is a little bit of excitement, right? And then Fire Blast, and then like a bit more like integral kit buffing, let's say. So Fire Blast cooldown reduced by a second baseline, which is pretty nice. Pyro Blast damage increased by 15%. That's quite powerful if Pyro Blast is meant to be like a big hitter spell. Obviously, Mana Cascade still exists. This Phoenix still exists, Arlo. Um, the lesser time warp that we have as the current tier set is buffed to 20% haste up from 10, which is pretty sick. The only weird thing is it's 10 seconds, whereas hyperthermia is 6 seconds only. I kind of wish hyperthermia was actually longer than 6 seconds. Like maybe make it either 10 seconds or make this buff 30% for 6 seconds. Maybe that causes other issues with haste is too high or something like that. But yeah. And then lastly, savor the moment, increasing combust duration by 2.5 seconds, which is an extra, well, 25% on every combust. So think of it like this. On a 5-minute fight, you're going to get 4 combusts. The one at 0, 1.5, 3, 4.5. So 4 combust, you're going to get 10 seconds extra of combustion, effectively, which is an extra 20% combustion uptime. Or you take 10% extra uptime on Scorch over the fight. Uh, the choice seems pretty heavy into Savor the Moment right now. It's just a tuning knob, but yeah. I don't hate this node. I kind of wish this did a little bit more maybe than just this. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure what else this could be. Yeah. Anyway, Sunfury overall pretty decent from what they've given us. However, there are some things I want to point out. It is extremely odd that Sunfury's namesake, Kael'thas Sunfury, or maybe it's Kael'thas Sunstrike. I'm not a lore guy, but I think it's fair to say Sunfury is associated with the whole Kael'thas era. Is all about hardcasting pyros. We have Pyroclasm and nothing in Sunfury about Pyroclasm. That seems very, very strange to me. Um, and I think this is especially apparent when juxtaposed with Frostfire's identity. And I'll talk about this later. But Frostfire is all about oh, we're buffing the base kit, and it looks really cool, by the way. I really like the Frostfire tree. More combusts, more fireball crits, and then Frostfire Bolt obviously just does more damage, which is really cool. So then, if this is doing all that, why is there not a simple talent oh, the proc rate of Pyroclasm is increased from to 20% per hot streak or 25% per hot streak, right? And it could even be a choice note for people who don't like Pyroclasm if they don't want it. Oh, the critical strike chance of Fireball is increased, or I don't know, uh, you know, the cast time or crit rate of Pyroblast is increased or something like that. They can do a couple of things. Maybe just give us flat crits, just straight up. Your crit chance is increased by 5%. That will do stuff to the kit, right? But it just seems weird. I mean, I'm okay with it not being a choice node, obviously. I definitely think there should be some sort of Pyroclasm interaction though with Sunfury, like really, really, really badly. Like it should be one of the most important nodes up in here. I would give literally any of. I would give away IBCDR for a Pyroclasm node in here, just to, like emphasize how much I care about it. Even Savor the Moment could be gone and give us Pyroclasm instead. More Pyroclasm or more Execute from Fireball. That could work, right? Yeah. Frostfire, really cool. Uh, Frostfire's cast time is faster than Fireball. You have options to make it even faster. It does more damage than a Fireball. When you Pyroblast, you have a chance to GS. 20% chance though seems a little low to me considering how less often we're going to be casting this. But I will say GS hits really hard. So maybe that's okay. Um, you get Frostfire Bolt damage increased. Or sorry, no, this is Fire Blast damage increased. I mean, you have this Frostfire Bolt crit chance increased, which is sick because it means more Pyroblasts, right? Um, and then also the damage of all Frost and Fire by 8%. That's insane, right? Um, and then obviously I still have the instant Frost Firebolt, which is cool. You don't have the buffs anymore, so it will just be like you fire it, and that's great. I kind of wish, like maybe this is too much, but I kind of wish there was a talent that just like did something with Meteor more. Like maybe whenever you use up a Frostfire empowerment, uh, the cooldown of Meteor is reduced by 5 seconds. Just something you're never gonna play around. You're just gonna press, pretty much. Um, but I'm okay if they don't do anything like that, just because this already has so much going on, right? Um, yeah, Meteor and Common Sword do insane damage. They apply Ignite. Ignite critical damage is increased by 10%. Wait, isn't Ignite always critting? Am I tripping? Is that like for just for Frost? Or it doesn't crit, sorry, it never crits. But like there's no variance. Not sure what that's about. Yeah, that's odd. Um, is this implying that Ignite can now crit? That would be interesting. Maybe this is for Frost Mage only? I don't know. Um, but anyway, all in all, I'm really glad that they've shifted away from the buffs and focused more on the fantasy of the Meteor. That's really cool. And like just buffing our base kit. That's really sick. I'm very happy with Frostfire now. The only thing is, like I said in the previous part, Meteor being gated behind Flame Patch and potentially these two if you are not forced to take them in reality is very odd. Very, very odd. Like I don't want to take Flame Patch single target, bro. You know? Just does not seem to make sense. If we are forced to take these two nodes, then the simple fix is move Flame Patch to here. Move Flame Patch to here. And then, like, these other points can all move up, right? Like these 3 points. Or I guess, well, this one included, can all shift up one. So they're here instead. Because if you like are forced to take this, then you can instantly get Meteor, and then you can choose to buff it. And then if you don't want Meteor, you can still access this, the Flame Patch, new position. So, and then you would never take any of the supporting Meteor nodes without taking Meteor. So it's fine if they're causally linked. Um, yeah, so that seems like an obvious fix to me. If you're not forced to take these, then Jesus, we're in trouble, right? Because then it's like we're specking 3 points to get Meteor, which is just attacks on Frostfire for no reason. Uh, yeah. And then I guess lastly, I'm glad that this seems like a more obvious choice to me now compared to this, which I like. I really disliked the live version where both of these were good and you were kind of incentivized between the two. I'm really glad that one of them is obviously better now because this is the one that gated Frostfire more. So now being able to take Molten Fury or Firefall is an actual choice. And you like, for example, as Frostfire, you can drop these 2 points, like you can go like this, or you can drop those 2 points and you can go like this still, or you can drop one of these 2 points if they're actually like worse, you know. Um, There's options there, right? Yeah, and if you don't care, for example, about IBCDR, which I mean, it would be strange, but I could definitely imagine it. You could do something like this, right? Maybe not Pyro. If you had one more point, do you have another point? Maybe you don't care about IBCDR? Question mark. Like there's options, there's choice, right? Which is interesting. Um, I don't think you would take this anyway, just because it's for AOE mostly, but it seems like an interesting situation, at least with Frostfire now with the bottom of the tree, and there's actual meaningful choice here. They just need to fix this top part. Okay, but yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. Hope it's been useful and my thoughts have been interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments. Later.